Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's start with line 1. So influential voices and turbulent. Why? Rocky, shaky.
Shake, okay.
Very up and down. Like if you were at sea in the ocean and there was a typhoon, you would say that water is turbulent. Like the word turbo. Okay, so I'm gonna guess some of this. Influential voices because she's widely known or inspiring, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's the meaning behind that. Turbulent childhood because when you have a unstable childhood, then it's, your life is a little difficult. Racially, so do you know what racially divided stamps is? She was sent to live with her grandmother in racially divided Stamps, Arkansas. Stamps is the name of a place. Yeah.
A country?
No, it's like a little town. Arkansas is a state in America. So I know the word Arkansas does not look anything like how I'm pronouncing it because it's spelled Arkansas. But actually it's pronounced Arkansas. Yeah, imagine if it was SAW at the end. So stupid. But anyway, so what is racially divided?
There are a lot of races.
Sure, but what is the word racially divided meaning?
One part is white and
Yep,
one part is
that's it. One part is white, one part is black. So if you are black, then you cannot live with the white people. If you are white, then you don't live with black people, which is crazy. Where she experienced the brutality of racial discrimination. Good, so racial discrimination, we all know that's important because it's bad, right? No one should ever have to be abused because of their skin color. So she also absorbed the unshakable faith and values of traditional African-American family, community, and culture. I like values, but I would also do faith. Why would I also do faith? Because they sort of go together. What's the difference between faith and values? I'd like you guys to first find out what faith and values mean in English. Switch, translate, and then describe to me what the difference is between both of those words.
faith is something that needs like complete trust.
And what about values?
And value is the standard of like the judgment.
What's the difference between those two then? Give me an example of a faith that you have and a value from that faith.
Religion?
Yeah, sure.
Religion.
Sure. So what's the value? If your religion is your faith, then what's the value?
Important.
No.
People are equal.
That you believe people are equal? Yes, that can also be a faith. So how do you make that more into a value? There's something missing that can make it a value. So instead of saying people are equal, you can say you treat all people equally. Because a value is what you actually do. So for a value to be a value, you need to prove that you believe in your religion, for example, right? So let's say your religion teaches you that all human beings, boy, girl, black, white, yellow, whatever, they're all the same. That's a belief that your faith teaches you, right? It's a lesson that your religion teaches you. The value from it is that when you meet somebody who is another skin color to you, you will still treat them the same way because you have taken action. So you've learned the lesson and you've said, okay, next time I go and meet a black person, I'm not going to be like, haha, you suck.
So value is like you carry out the action.
Yes, you actually do it. Yeah? So for example, I'll give you a stupider example if it helps. I believe in the power of coffee. This is my value. I believe in the power of coffee because I'm drinking it right now. Yeah? Does that make a little bit more sense? Yes? Okay, let's continue. So after, what? What? Oh, you're just giggling. So after being sent back to live with her mother, she was raped at the age of 8 by her mother's friend. Okay, yeah, I guess we're all on the same page there. 8 and raped. Why? I mean, that's horrifying, right? And now think about the fact that she's now quite old. So back in those days where Black people had no respect, Black people had no rights, you know, a little girl being raped by a man much larger and older than her has no effect. But she confided the abuse to her brother, leading to the rapist's arrest. Yay. Upon getting out of jail, the rapist was killed, many believe, by Maya's uncles. She believed her voice killed him since she told her brother of the crime. Now, she's 8. 8-year-olds still believe that Santa Claus exists. So it's totally believable to me that she thinks because she told her brother that she somehow killed the dude. That's pretty sad, right? Because in my opinion, screw the dude. Let him die, right? That's what I think. But look at the heart of that 8-year-old. The heart of the 8-year-old, even though she had been so violently abused, she was like, I hope they don't kill him. That's a beautiful, kind person. Because I am sitting here going, kill him, whatever, who cares? Right? But she values human life. She values being alive. Even from such a young age. At the age of 8, I wouldn't have said anything like that. I would have probably been like, burn him, feed him to the dogs, you know? So think about that. She's 8 at this time. Yeah. She was then sent back to live with her grandmother, where a teacher helped regain her voice, her confidence, and her pride. She went on to become an author and actress, blah, 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 using her voice for positive change. So look at the importance of having a voice means to her. Right? She just wants to be able to speak. And when she speaks, she doesn't want to cause anybody harm. And that's coming from an 8-year-old. Have you met an 8-year-old? They're so stupid. They're so stupid, right? She's maybe 10, like maximum 10, and she understood the value of a voice. That's incredible. No 10-year-old I have ever met has been like that. She's very, very gifted. Yeah? So always keep that in mind. Okay, now, this is what I think about the poem. This poem is very hard for you guys because this is a cultural group that you actually don't understand. You don't understand her history very well. You don't really know what she's been through. And that's okay. You're not supposed to know. You know what I mean? Like, you have your own thing to deal with. Like, Black people have suffered for like thousands of years, yes, but so have the Chinese. just by you being in Hong Kong and being born and raised in Hong Kong, I already know that at some point in your life, your family went through something. There was some kind of movement. You didn't just show up in Hong Kong like, ding, I'm here now, right? So your family must have, your ancestors or great, whatever, grandparents, they all made sacrifices, right? They all went through horrible things, I'm sure. But you're all here. And you deal with that history. You know much more about that than I ever will. So that's why what I'm trying to do with these questions is for you to actually understand just how the poem is supposed to feel. Yeah? If you get the emotion of this poem right, it will become so much easier to do the essays. Yeah? So let's start with some of the questions. I wonder if we should write these down. Yeah, let's write them down. Line paper? Okay, so each of these questions.
Can you get us some
Yes. And more paper here. Do you have a copy of the? Actually, yes, you do, because it's there. Go back to the Edexcel folder. Actually, I'm just gonna print it. Never mind. Don't do anything. I'll print it. It'll just be so much easier. Okay, so all three of you can do this together, but one person can just write the answers, and then two people can talk to them. I don't know how you want to do this, but just very quickly, I want you to get through questions 1 to 5. You can talk about it, you can do it separately, you can do whatever you want.
Black people.
Yes, African American. Never African. She has to be from like Nigeria or something to be African.
Is she the speaker of the poem?
The speaker of the poem is definitely still African American, yes.
That means it's the writer, not the poet.
No. I mean, I think it's the poet, but you're not supposed to say it's the poet. So just say
She gets someone to.
She pretends it's her, but with some extra flavor, you know. I mean, you can write about it as just say that she personally has strong links to the poem. That's fine.
Write down the words or phrases strong links to the poem. How does the speaker tell cultural culture? How does the speaker have the poem?
You can, oh yeah. Emoji. Yes, the emojis can you do on the document?
邊嘢？
冇啊，
佢好似會有嘅。俾人打個羽毛住。所以佢啲小食都搞。都入唔到嘅。佢咪入唔到？佢咪話打翻橋嗰度。
咦冇啊，
救唔到㗎。
不過係咪有兩嚿嘢嗰個？
我見到我呢個。
我見到啊，
呢個得。呢個
嗰啲應該係有樣嗰啲唔得咯，手嗰啲係得。你一定要係有樣嗰啲咯。
有樣先得。
啊，唔係。呢個我搞咩？兩三個個 emoji 啊！1、2、3，咦？搞錯咗邊個？
手嘅。
係咯，就係啲手得嘅啫，其他唔知。
係喎。
呢個其實我唔知係咪，不過咧，
我仲有唔可以顏色咯，即係會係嗰隻好核突嘅黃色。係啊。其他真係唔得。真係唔得，黐線。
畫啦，
我畫好核突嘅喎，大佬。
唔緊要啦。畫邊個啊？係咪紅色嗰個？
係啊。
我想用邊個咧？真係。
應該係噴氣嗰個。
呢係咯，噴氣嗰個係啊。仲有一個咧。
天使。Arise。OK 喎呢個。
啊，有個光環嗰個。
Three columns.
We are drawing
emojis。
Sure.
搞嘢你話 enter the emoji 啊。
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
So stupid.
Only some like 10.
The boring ones?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like this. 我呢個都唔得。Oh yeah, you see that?
Oh, yeah, no, that one's stupid. I totally agree.
第三題。
我哋第一題未做。係。係咪？用咩 face？
係咪 Black Ocean？
Black Ocean。係咪㗎？唔知。
Yeah, it only gets worse from there. From number three, it just gets worse and worse for you.
應用啊，朋友。應該會覺得嬲，覺得有嬲。
History's changing。
邊個唔中意我？
history。
我有冇唔中意黃人？
佢講嘅嘢第三題。History's changing。Black Ocean
係啊，應該係為見係平反應該係。What？
Black Ocean。
係啊。
Leaving behind nights of terror and fear.
Where's
第一
that?
題係
No, a process through to impairment.
邊個？你講緊邊題啊？
第二題係第一題嗰個。
哦。
Process through to。好，之後第二個或者第三個。
Where do you see Black Ocean? Oh, I'm a Black Ocean. Yeah.
嚇？
係咯。
你今日係 faith and values。差唔多。Can I copy?
What?
I have
faith.
Unshakable faith and values.
Oh, which question?
Number 3.
How does the speaker of the poem feel about herself? So yes, you can do the 3 emojis.
Probably, number 3.
Yeah, I know. But you have to relate the 3 emojis to yourself now.
Oh.
I feel angel.
So-
I feel angel.
Yeah. So think about when you felt those 3 emojis, and that's what you're writing about. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be neutral, whatever.
跟住要為學生平反。I am the
Wait for you.
So what are your
I
3
am
emojis? Let me see.
平反。
You have
幫
angry.
藥洗寫服
What's this one?
like the thing that
Become
you have
also
like
Also
air.
angry?
Yeah.
So how do you? Tell me what's the different type of anger? What's the difference between the 2?
係咯，嗰個係好似我覺得係類似係有事啊嘛。唔係，即係點講咧？我哋用我哋
And
嗰個
then
emoji
and then why angel?
噴氣係點講咧
Happy.
Why? But why angel?
？Dream 啊
Why
，dream
not
at
just
top
happy?
of the
I
place
rise.
as
I
the
rise.
as the.
So she's like an angel. She's so like clean and pure
Did she rise?
because she's floating like an angel. Because she's so free.
唔係噴氣嗰個係
So you gotta. You can. Your 3 emojis are great, but you gotta find a link to yourself. It doesn't have to be. All of you can pick the same emoji. I don't care. But you have to give me an example for yourself.
Just choose anyone.
Yeah, you can pick any one of those emojis. Your 3 emojis.
幫嗰啲人咯，係咯，你話可能一齊先係嗰啲 friend 咯。
So you have the choice between 2, well, anger and then super anger and then angel. So think about an example. When have you felt angry, maybe? And then go from there. Don't start with the too quickly.
我睇嘅事，
其實呢個唔係解，即係好似係嬲，但
係
係
氣憤咯。
係要摸佢 friend 係啊，即係想做翻啲嘢咁咯，係啊，即係俾人蝦嗰啲嘢，跟住你走去幫，係乜嘢有 fair 嚟？有啊，你同做咗啲咩有馬生。
I want this one.
好啊。
Yes. Okay. So, when was the last time any of you were angry?
This morning.
Why?
Because like you know what, my mate give me a bread like it's so like I don't like to eat bread
Yeah.
and it's like the most traditional way like the grape you know what flour
Oh, bread.
and I'm so angry like how do we get this?
Ah.
Yeah, the wheat something like that.
Yeah.
I hate it so much that because I did it when like, I had been eating it for a month and it was like
The same
oh
thing.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about a time when you were angrier than that. Or maybe think about a time when you were proud of yourself. That's also possible since you have the angel.
係學生平反攞翻少啲功課。
Think about a time when you thought you were brave or you did something that you didn't think you could do, and then you were like, "What am I kidding?"
Wow.
Hmm?
Represent the school to go to competition.
Yeah, sure.
And then you win.
Yeah, winning is nice. I'm not talking about an experience where you like, I don't know, beat up some big dude. Just think about an experience. It can be quite simple, and it can be quite like whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy, but you just felt something for yourself. Like you were like, oh, I did a good job, yay. You don't have to be like, I'm amazing. You just like, yeah, cool, nice. You know?
I passed my.
Oh my God, see, that's a great example because when I was in school and when we had a test or exam, if I passed it, I was like celebrating. I mean, I'm not saying like, good job. No, I was like, yes, I did it. Like, because I can't do exams. I hate exams. So I would get to the exam and immediately, as soon as I finished, I don't care what the result is. I'm like, I did it. I finished my exam. Right? But that's on me. So think something similar like that.
I feel angry or.
Yeah, can be angry, can be superbly happy. I'll tell you when I'm really angry. An example. I think when I was teaching year 2 children, they were 7 or 8 years old, I think. Maybe 7 or 8, yeah. When children turn maybe 5 or 6 year olds, they learn for the first time how to lie. So actually lying is not natural, right? Because they learn how to do it. And so the first time a child lies to you, you know, because it's always really stupid. It's always like, I didn't eat it, and there's cake everywhere, you know? They're not smart liars. They're very stupid liars. Because they're only starting, they're beginners, right? Think about it in terms of beginner, intermediate, and advanced. They're very much at the beginner's level. Parents are at advanced level, yeah? So when a parent who is at advanced sees their child lie to them for the first time, they're like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, you're an idiot, right? But sometimes that child will lie again and again and again and again, and it causes some trouble, right? So I was teaching in grade 2 class, and this boy came up to me and he was like, oh, I didn't do my homework for blah, blah, blah reasons. And as soon as I looked at him, I was like, okay, I know you're lying. And he was like, oh, I'm not lying. Like, no, I'm sure that you are lying. But then he tried to lie even more instead of just say, yeah, okay, I lied. Like, I didn't even do the homework. I lost it, as a matter of fact, right? But he kept lying more and more and more. So at first he was like, no, I'm not lying. I forgot it at home. I was like, okay, I'll call your helper and ask her to bring it here. Oh, she's not home. Well, where else would she be? Oh, she's on holiday. Okay, where did she go on holiday? She went back to the Philippines. Oh, she went back to the Philippines. Then who's looking after your baby brother? My mom. Doesn't your mom have work? And so you see how if I keep asking him questions, eventually, right? But see, I was annoyed because he took up so much of my time because I was like, just tell me that you're lying. There'll be less consequences if you just say, yeah, okay, I lied. Because then what will I do? I'll just print out a new copy and say, here, can you do this next time? Thanks. Right? I'm not going to eat you. And so that made me angry. Was that a normal reason for me to be angry? Yeah, because I wanted to tell that student that you're making me upset because now I have stood here for 15 minutes asking you about your stupid lies. And you have kept lying instead of figuring out that your lies are very, very basic. Right? So something like that. Okay, I really want you guys to think about that, number 2 and 3, and how to link it. So I'm going to highlight it blue, and that's what we're coming back to. So 4 and 5. Who is she talking to in the poem?
The society.
Cool, which society? Yes, write down all of the details of the society she's talking to. And also write down the words or phrases that give you a clue. So you have to go back to the poem anyway. Since number 2 and 3 is going to take some time, can you move on to 6 and 7 instead?
No, 4 and 5.
No, you'll still do 4 and 5.
Oh,
特别是你们有味儿的。
我记得好像3个。
你呢？我打我头。上我買咗咗先得啦。我上堂做翻我快做快。嗱，馬上我哋做，我哋而家轉翻最後一班啦。我要做馬三。係啊。唔係自己 complete 晒㗎嘛？我未 complete 咯，佢已經 complete 咗。我都唔知去咗邊㗎，買咗買咗買嘢都唔好睇，翻一啲乜鬼啊？咩啊？哦。喂，啲白人碌單，係咪？跟住佢哋咯。
White, the part is also key.
Society for white.
White.
係兩日齊晒。知道。
You can't do is stand up for the people. Stand up for them.
Okay.
You stand up for the people. For the black people. Even though
you feel
electrical entities,
我大概佢3個方面做嘅嘢係咪？defend 方面嗰啲吧。係。defensive 咩？係啊，係咪 resilience？ 係啊。那你學 resilience strength？ 這樣學咩嘅？以前比較少。What's the difference between resiliency and strength?
Yes, good question. So strength can be
Physical.
Sure, resiliency can also be physical. But strength is generally not seen as something that's long-term. Like sometimes you have the strength to do something, other times you don't. Resiliency is when you are able to do a very difficult thing over and over and over and over again. So if you think of a job that requires you to be very, very resilient, it's the job of a nurse. Because nurses don't, like I get a break. I can go around and get a coffee. Nurses don't get a break. Because 1 minute there's someone dying, the next minute someone is puking or whatever. Yeah, so they have to keep going regardless of their own needs.
should always 有好嬲。開頭嘅時候話佢抌佢，你覺得好嬲。佢諗住咩事？因為 from past that rich in pain。啊，咁即係應該寫咯。resiliency。然後 priority 我真係唔明，你講邊兩個最重要？最緊要 resiliency 咯。然後啲What is the human spirit?
The human spirit of how do I explain it? Spirit is quite closely related to hope. Like my humans, the strength, if you will, of my human spirit means that maybe I can survive in very horrible conditions. Human spirit is a word we use, a phrase, sorry, we use to describe people who have done very crazy, goes and walks around the desert, you know, in the sand, in the Gobi Desert or the Sahara Desert for like 365 days. I'm like, oh my God. For someone who climbs Mount Everest, I think they have a very clear, very established or well-developed human spirit where they don't give up.
Well, why does it learn to just pull up?
Because she doesn't give up.
Oh.
Human spirit is sort of the idea of having hope and never giving up. Like you always see the bright side. You always see the positive. You don't just see the negative and then, you know, cry about it.
佢四個字啊，咁呢個就係咯，呢第二係咩啊？第二係啦係啦。History，呢就係 Edinburgh 嘅最尾。Historical context。佢哋佢自己講係 historical。Like a history, not history, historical. Yes 嘛？邊個啊？ 係咯，因為以前但係其實而家都有啊嘛。Remember 呢張 history， 因為 history 啦，係咯 ，history 背景啊嘛，係咪真係話？係啊。以往啊嘛，以往就以往都有呢啲咁嘅嘢，係咪佢意思係話？你佢哋話 yes 咁樣，但係有 yes。Explanation 係咩 ？Explanation 第一句啦。第一句啦，即係話咩 history thing 啊，即係 past 哦。誒佢唔係 explanation 咩？最好字喎。Explanation。咁佢 mention 咗咁多嘢，咁咪佢帶出佢就係 historical context 咯。And right there. Look at that. Yeah. 可以話班咩當嘅再跟住就可以翻佢哋。即係幫佢哋。
Okay, can I stop you guys for a second? Yeah. You're at number 7, I'm guessing now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's talk about most of the answers. Not most of them, but the general summary of the answers are below, where it says moral of the story. On the next page. Where you see moral of the story, that's generally the idea I want you to get after you answer all of those questions. But I would still like you to answer all of those questions, yeah? But what I want to do is take you through some of those morals, because they will help you a little bit with the question that I have set you for today. First of all, imagine something slightly different-ish. Okay, yeah, I know what we do. This is a mountain. Yeah. There's a tree on this mountain. There's another couple of trees here. I'm not good at drawing.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. There's another tree. I don't know what do trees look like? I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This looks like your hand.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so there are some trees on the mountain. One day, a bird comes around, and the bird poops on this tree. Okay, so this is like on day 1, everything is clean. Day 2, there's bird poop on the tree. Yeah. Let's say day 268. This is much later, but all the other birds are like, oh, that's a good tree. It's a good toilet right there. So all the neighborhood birds are picking this tree as the bird toilet. It's the official bird toilet. Do you think this tree looks different from day one?
Yes.
Why? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? So the tree looks different. The tree is not the same. The tree is kind of like, I don't know, maybe a bit smelly. Maybe some of the leaves aren't fully green because there's a big splotch of poop in the middle, right? Right? So there's lots of different things happening to that tree. Now use the same theory and apply it to a human. So if I took this marker and for the rest of Ursula's life, I poked her right here, what do you think will happen to this spot on her head?
So like completely a big dot.
Yes, there'll be a giant, some kind of mark that I will leave there, right? It's the same if I, this happens to me all the time, so I can probably show you on my hand right now. I cut myself all the time by accident. Yeah, not on purpose. Right, because I'm really bad at feeling pain. So sometimes I'll get scratched and I won't know until like 3 days later when I'm looking at myself and I'm like, so it happens to me all the time. There's a big one here. That was a burn. There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. So this happens to me literally all the time, right? If someone did this to me on purpose, then they're leaving a mark on me, right? They have somehow affected me. Especially if someone does that to me on purpose. If somebody wants to scratch me on purpose, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That's a horrible person. Don't be friends with that person, right? But sometimes you can't help it. That's exactly what I want you to understand about this tree. That tree can't defend itself because it's a tree. The tree can't be like, yo, birds, go away, right? Just like most of the time when I scratch myself, it's because of my cat, and I can't tell her no, because she's quite cute. So when she climbs up and she's doing her stupid cat thing, and she's scratching me, I just have to say, okay, fine, you're cute, so you can scratch me. It hurts, but it's okay.
You didn't have it too.
Oh, I tried. Yeah. Right? But if that cat was angry, if my cat was angry and doing that, I would just be like, go away from me, because in that case, I can defend myself, right? So I can just throw the cat away, be like, go away, throw her off, right? But if she's just playing and she scratches me, I'm like, oh, it's fine, you're so cute. Right? This is the idea I want you to apply to this. That actually Maya Angelou, as a little girl, didn't think she was ever going to be abused so violently. No one ever thinks that we will be pooped upon, that we will be the bird's toilet for somebody else, right? But there are people who think, who have these awful thoughts, who say, I'm gonna hurt you because I think you're no good. I think you're stupid. I think you're whatever, right? And their answer is always with anger. Whether it's yelling at you, whether it's telling you that you're stupid, whatever it is, that's what their answer is, right? That's not true though. That person doesn't get to tell you about yourself, right? So that's what happened with Maya Angelou. She went through all of these experiences where people told her like, oh, we don't like you because you're black. We don't like you because you're a woman. We think you are less important because you're black. That's what she heard. And to a little girl, that's pretty intense, right? Because how do we, normally to little kids, like right now, I can sit here and be like, oh my God, children are so stupid, right? But if a child came in front of me, I will never say, by the way, I think you're stupid. In fact, if there was a child in front of me, I will do everything in my power to make that kid amazing, right? Because when people feel happy, they do good things, right? That's what we are told, by the way, when your teachers are being trained, that's what you tell them. That if you make your students happy, they will do work. But how many of your teachers actually follow that? Not many. Isn't that shocking? Right, so that's what the idea of this, that's what the lesson you're supposed to have from this poem. That there are bad people out there, but that doesn't make you bad. In fact, what that does is it gives you a challenge. How can you do better than the bad person, right? How can you fight back against that person? Does that make sense? Yeah? Cherry, you okay? Yeah? Anything confusing I've said so far? No? Okay, so you can see your question. What? Oh. Okay. You can see your question. How does Angelo use language techniques and structure to convey the themes of oppression and discrimination? So there's two parts to the idea of oppression and discrimination. Part one, there has to be a bad person doing the oppression and the discrimination. Yeah? The second part is the person that fights back. The person that says, no, you can't oppress me. And even if you choose to discriminate against me, I don't care. Yeah? It's the person who rises above, kind of like an angel. But anyway, yeah? So the other thing that I've done is this time I'm giving you all of the quotes that I would like you to use. But I have not given you all of the language techniques. I've given you some, and you can use them. You can choose not to use them. You can add to it. You can subtract from it. Yeah? But those quotes are all the quotes that you will need. You can use less than that. You can use more than that. It's totally up to you. Yeah? I've also given you at the bottom page, page 3, the structure that I want you to follow. When you see the little plus signs, you know, author's name plus poem's title plus summary, it doesn't have to be in that order. You can do it in any order. You can start with summary, then title, then author's name. That's totally fine. Okay? And that's the same thing anywhere where you see a plus sign. It can be in any order. Okay? Right. So tell me what ideas you're going to include in this. So just read. I'd like you to read my notes. Just read the structure, number 1 and 2. So introduction and body 1. And then tell me what are some of your ideas. Actually, forget the introduction. Body 1, 2, and 3. Read those. And tell me what you would include in each of those. Yeah, actually just do a quick read and then I'll tell you what to do next. Read that one blue.
That like idea about oppression.
Mm-hmm. What's topic sentence 2A? How can you categorize, what are your themes?
Oppression
And discrimination. So write that down on your piece of paper, oppression and discrimination. And then underneath that, draw it like a mind map, you know, like do like oppression in a big cloud, and then some arrows or something. What do you call it? Spider diagram, mind map. So you can have both oppression and discrimination in the same bubble if you want. Or you can have 2 bubbles. Wow, okay. 2 bubbles. All right. So what different actions have to happen for me to call it oppression? Not from the poem, just so far in general. How is oppression different to discrimination, first of all? That's what your first task is with this question, is figure out what the key terms mean.
Oppression is something like a mental distress.
Sure. What else?
And unjust treatment.
Yep. What did you find, Cherry?
Huh?
What did you find? What is oppression?
Without freedom.
Yep, write that down. And then go to discrimination and tell me what you think.
Prejudice.
Sure. What's prejudice?
Treating people differently.
Yep.
Unfairness.
Yep. Treating people differently or unfairly. Yeah.
Indifference.
Yep. Definitely. What about back to oppression?
Abuse.
Yeah. A type of abuse, whether it's, does it only have to be physical?
No.
No. So emotional or physical abuse? What type of discrimination? Now we can actually move on to the answering these two words in terms of the question. So look at the definitions you have, right? Who is being discriminated against or oppressed?
The black.
Black people, right? So that's the common ground between your oppression and discrimination, that it has only to do with one group of people right now. And the one group of people that are sort of stuck in the middle of these two words are black people. Now, be more specific. Black people where?
Where? What?
Where? Where are they?
American.
So African Americans. Good. Why are they being, what is the reason for discrimination?
Skin color.
Their skin color, exactly. So it's to do with racism. That type of discrimination or oppression is called racism, which you already know. What other type of discrimination is there?
Gender.
Gender, good. So if you are black and a woman, do you think there is more or less discrimination? Why? Because both race, so both skin color and gender, are topics of discrimination and oppression already, right? So if you meet two of the criteria, then it's worse for you, right? Like if white women are having a difficult time, then black women must be really suffering, right? So who's Maya Angelou? Is she white, black, yellow, Asian?
African.
Sorry?
African.
Yes, so Maya Angelou being a female African American, that's the description of your poet. Okay, now let's think about her response to oppression and discrimination in the poem. Do you think her response is good?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Why is her response not good then?
You mean the response towards the white people?
Yeah, is her reaction to discrimination and oppression, how do we feel about it? Do we like it? Is it weird?
Yeah.
You like it? Why?
Fight for justice.
Because she's fighting back. Why am I so inspired by her fighting back? Why do I like it?
Because she's part of the, like, she's one of the American, African American. She's like standing up for them.
Right, so she's representing in her fight all of the other African Americans. So she's fighting for her community, right? Not just for a selfish reason. Okay. Now let's go to the poem real quick, yeah? Look at the poem, just read maybe stanzas 1, 2, and 3, and tell me what you like about her attitude. And describe to me what her attitude is. Stanza 1, 2, and 3.
Confidence.
Confident, yes, I agree. Her attitude is quite confident. Why is it confident, Ursula?
Because like he said that just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of times and blah blah blah, and still arise.
What does that mean to you?
Like moon and suns are like permanent.
Sure, yes.
And like it shows that her attitude will not change. Like she'll keep on like
Resilient.
Yeah, resilient.
Good. So now we're looking at resiliency. Exactly. See, now you are doing analysis. That's exactly it. That's your analysis. She's permanent. That's her resiliency speaking. That's how strong she is, or at least feels. She's like, literally, she's like, I can be mathematically proven. That's how good I am. Yeah? Okay, now let's read stanza 4, 5, and 6. What is the attitude, Cherry? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
Prideful.
Yeah.
Angry.
Where?
Or
Stanza 4. Actually, we can. How about we narrow it down? Actually, there's too many. Let's start with stanza 4, Cherry. What's the attitude in stanza 4?
social status is low.
Sorry.
Being looked down on.
Yes, but what's her attitude? That's what's happening. She's talking about people who look down on her. Yes. Yeah. But what's the attitude? How does she treat or how does she think about people who look down on her?
Hateful.
How do you know it's hateful?
Both head and lowered eyes.
How does that make her hateful?
Like, because they're slaves and.
Yes, but you're describing right now what's happening. How does she feel? Why is she saying those questions? Think about, have you ever been in trouble at school? Surely you have. I don't know. You guys don't look like you get into trouble much. I used to get in trouble all the time. Like, I lived in the principal's office. I was always in the principal's office. I was the worst student, right? And they would always say to me, do you not want better grades? Do you not like school? And I was like, no, I hate this place. This place is stupid. It's like a prison. I still feel that way, by the way. So when people tell you like, oh, when you grow up, you'll really miss school. No, you will still hate school. Anyway, so they will ask me these questions. They will say, do you not want better grades? What am I supposed to say to that? Right? So read that question. Did you want to see me broken? What kind of a person replies, yes, I want to see you broken?
People who hate you.
People who hate you will definitely answer being like, yes, I hope you die, right? But everyone else, when we read that question, how do we feel? Yeah, we sympathize. Why?
Because that's how the society treats her.
Yes, because that's how society has treated Black people. They have broken Black people. They have hurt them. They have physically beat them. So it's sympathetic. She's getting sympathy. So yes, she seems a bit hateful. I would say angry there, because normal people don't ask questions like that, right? I will never ask a question like that. I can change the sentence too. I can change the question. I can say, did you want to see me happy? Right? I won't even ask anybody that, because I assume that we want to see each other happy. That's an assumption, right? Like it's just an automatic thought. I will never think like, does Ursula want to see me happy? Maybe not. Today, maybe she wants me to be sad, so maybe I'll be sad. I'll never think that, right? And I'll never think that about you either. But there are people who did not want to see Black people be happy. And that's who she's talking to there, right? So yes, she's angry, but her attitude is sort of like, I don't care. Okay, stanza 5. Susanna, your turn. What's she doing?
Similar as the last sentence.
Similar, but there's a big difference. What's the big difference?
To tell the white people that even though they want to discriminate her, she still has confidence.
That even though they want to discriminate her, she still has confidence. Yes, but what's the difference? That's very similar to the first one, or to the stanza 4, sorry. So what's the big difference? Look at the last 2 lines there, because I laugh like I've gotten gold mines digging in my own backyard.
She's fighting back.
How? She doesn't actually have gold mines, right? It's a simile. I laugh like I've got. So she doesn't actually have it, but why would she laugh like that? And look at the other part of that Same stanza. Don't you take it awful hard. What does that mean? Don't you take it awful hard. That one, I will admit, is difficult. Don't you take it awful hard. It's sarcastic. The don't you take it awful hard. I will never say something like that. To me, that sounds so patronizing. What is patronizing? Kind of, yeah. When you talk to someone as if they're stupid or as if they're a child. This will happen to you a lot, I'm sure, where people talk to you or reply to you like, do you know what that is? Are you okay? And you're just like, dude, go away. I'm not an idiot, right? That's what she's doing. Why would she have that kind of attitude? Why would she be so patronizing? Or rather, why is her tone so patronizing? Have you ever heard the phrase, to get a taste of your own medicine? What does it mean?
Like you do something bad and you like eat something.
Do you know what it is in Chinese?
这个有谁啊？这个就要后那个后援。
That doesn't have bullying.
Can you repeat that?
Phrase?
Yeah.
To have a taste of your own medicine.
Like something that you did something bad and you got something punished.
That's karma. Taste of your own medicine is when I hit, let's say, for example, if I hit, I don't know why I always pick you. I think you're just right there. If I hit Ursula, right, and then 5 seconds later, someone walks in and just hits me, that's a taste of my own medicine. So I have experienced exactly the same thing as Ursula. That's what the phrase means. And Ursula didn't have to give me the medicine. Someone else did it. They don't have to know her. They don't have to even know what happened between me and Ursula. But one day I'm just sitting here and I'm minding my own business. Some random dude comes in and he's just like, oh, and then he walks off, right? That's when I think, oh man, I should not have hit Ursula because that hurt. That's me having a taste of my own medicine. I learned that when you hit someone, it hurts. So now I realize maybe I shouldn't have hit Ursula.
What's the difference between this one and
Karma? Karma happens, karma, there's a certainty to it. Karma means if you do something bad to me, I don't do anything. I back away. I'm just like, hey, do whatever. You're a horrible person. I'm leaving now. Bye. Because I somehow believe that some other point in the universe, in her life, something horrible will happen to her, which is weird. Yeah, don't believe in karma. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is she's talking that way to replicate, to mimic how white people have spoken to African American people all of this time. So she's being patronizing because white people have been so patronizing and aggressive to Black people. So she's giving them a taste of their own medicine by speaking in a patronizing or sarcastic tone.
Can you repeat like white people
Have been aggressive, have discriminated against, have oppressed Black people for a long time. And so she responds with that same anger, with that same attitude of indifference, I guess. The other thing that you should note about this last two lines, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. What those two lines really mean is that she may not have any gold mines. In fact, I know for a fact that she doesn't have any gold. Yeah? But the reason she is laughing is because she can see that the more she laughs and seems happy, the more the racist people are upset because they don't want to see her happy. And she's like, well, too bad, I'm going to do it anyway. Right? So she's using the gold mine to say that I'm almost going to pretend like I am the happiest, wealthiest person on this planet just because it annoys you so much. And yeah, definitely do it. I'm sure there's yet another saying in all of your languages, because I know there's one in mine. The saying is, when your enemies are looking at you, you act really happy. You know, you're like, ah, great, how are you? Right? Because they want to know what the problem is. But if you don't never tell them what the problem is, then they will just be like, damn it, she's happy. I hate that she's happy. And now my enemy is wasting time thinking about me, and I'm not doing anything. Right? So I have won. That's what she's saying, that she's won. Yeah? Okay? Right. I will let you guys go. Please, 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 please do this essay for next class.
Do we hand it to you through email?
Can you hand it to me through email?
Yes, we have
When is your test?
next Friday.
Yeah. Okay, I cannot promise, but I will try. Maybe just hold on, I'm trying to find my calendar. Okay, your test is next Friday. Okay, I have a day off on Wednesday, but all the other days next week, this coming week, I have classes all day. So if you get it to me by like Tuesday night, then Wednesday, I'll be at home. But if you send it to me Wednesday night, not happening. It's not happening.
Oh, Wednesday.
Before I wake up on Wednesday, and I'll tell you what time I'm going to wake up on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm waking up at 11.
I'm waking up at like 7.
Oh, that's so bad. You don't have to try and finish, by the way.